Guys, how is everybody doing? It's that time of the week again. We got our third episode of Chucky Season 3, Episode 3, titled Jennifer's Body, which I'm assuming is a homage to the Megan Fox horror vampire film. I've never seen it, so I don't really know. Yes, sue me! A lot of people love that movie, but I've never seen it, so yell at me all you want. So, I wouldn't say I was a naysayer on the second episode. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I thought it was okay. I was a bit mixed on it. I was still a little upset at some of the decisions that they decided to make. So I approached this episode a little bit more skeptical because as I did with the first episode. And this show won me over again. Just when I start to lose interest, the second I stop losing interest, and the second I stop just like being more cautious, the series just reels me back in and say, "Oh, we're back. Come back here. Come on. We're good again. Come on." And this episode did exactly that. I'm basically loving this season of Chucky. I'm this might be my favorite season of Chucky so far until we get the other few episodes. I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, Jennifer's Body, I did like it, but my main issue I had with this episode was I did wish that this was the first episode of the season to where this was a continuation of Chucky season 2 and a prequel to the other two episodes that we got. And I would have preferred if this was just the first episode because I did see a few things on the internet where apparently it was supposed to be the first episode. There was rumors saying like the first episode of Chucky season 3 was going to be this episode, to where it was basically going to be an epilogue to Chucky season 2. I felt it would have worked much better. It would have been less confusing, and it's just like, well, why are we doing this now and all that? But I did like it. I loved seeing Jennifer Tilly come back as Tiffany Valentine. It's always a treat to see with her. And I might be on an island with this one. I do think that this season might be doing a little bit better with her. I did not like what they did with her in Chucky season 2, the way they utilized her and the way they wrote her. I just did not like what they did with her. But so far I'm liking her a tiny bit more in this season. To where she is being convicted of her crimes of murder. She's finally been caught. She is being charged with her crimes of murder and possession and all that shit. And this whole episode is basically in court and everything, to where she is about being convicted, and people are saying that she's crazy, she's murdered all these people, and how they don't like her, and how they need her to be in jail and all that. And then she's trying to stand for herself, and she's trying to get the Voodoo's for Dummy book and all that. And there's also Chucky and Caroline. I think the little girl's name is Lexi's sister. Yeah, Caroline or something like that. I want to say Coraline for some reason. And that whole subplot is about like exploring why he needs to kill six people in the season, as we got in the other two episodes, where it's just like, okay, one down, five more to go, two down, three more to go, three down, three more to go. And apparently, I kind of called this one coming. I didn't want to say it out loud in any of my videos to make it sound like I knew it was gonna happen, or I was spoiling it for anybody. But the reason Chucky is trying to kill six people, excuse my voice there, that he needs to kill six people is because he is aging in this body, which we have seen in the first Child's Play, which I did like how it was kind of like a recall to that, where in the first Child's Play he needs to get out of this body because or else he's going to be stuck in this body forever, and he's starting to like change his appearance and all that. And in this one, since he had the exorcism in the second season, in the seventh episode, which was my favorite episode of the last season, in that episode, because of the exorcism, because of the exorcism, Damballa basically left him or something, or betrayed him or something like that, or is just done with him. And to regain Damballa, he needs to kill six people in a very like deadly haunted house, something like that. And then I did like the little Amityville horror reference about like how he kills like eight people in this room, which was a pretty cool scene. He kills eight people in this room, and then he makes an Amityville horror reference. I don't love the Amityville horror, but I did like that reference. And he talked about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm pretty sure he also said The Exorcist in this episode, which I did. I did like. Don Mancini, he writes a lot of horror Easter eggs in in the Chucky franchise, which I don't blame him. I would probably do the same thing. But I did like it. Some of the comedy aspects of this episode, it lost me a few scenes here and there. the Coraline, no, Coraline, is it Coraline or Caroline? I might be messing up her name. I'm gonna call her Caroline. Caroline and the Chucky scenes I did really enjoy. Those were pretty enjoyable scenes. I did like them, and yeah, I did like it. Those were pretty entertaining scenes. It had to do with Chucky. I did like how they're going back and forth more. One scene I was really confused on in this episode was the doctor scene to where Chucky is going to get checked on. Apparently, since he was aging, he's getting wrinkles and stuff like that. He tries to look in the book and he's like, "Oh, because you're aging, you should probably transfer your soul." And then Coraline or Caroline goes like, "No, no, you can't do that. You have to see a doctor and stuff like that." And when he's at the doctor's office, there's a doctor there, and he doesn't seem frightened by Chucky like at all. He's like very aware that he's a doll and all these uh like Damballa possessions and stuff like that. I was really confused in that scene. I didn't know if he knew Chucky, like he personally knew him and knew all this stuff and like worked for him, and then Chucky kind of got a hold of him to come check on him in the hospital to make it not look suspicious or anything. Or Chucky, like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know what that scene was supposed to be hinting at. Maybe they said something during that scene and I just missed it, but there was something weird going on in that scene to where I was really confused. I was like, what is going on here? Like, are you not frightened? And there were some pretty cool kills here, especially the opening scene with the taxi guy. I forget his name, but I've seen him in a few projects. I forget his name. To where he's the taxi driver and he's listening to the conversations of Chucky, and since Chucky's talking to him, he's like, and he sounds like a grandpa. He sounded like a grandpa in this episode, and like when Chucky was talking to him, he looked back, he's like, "Oh, that's one of those AI dolls. I saw that on TV one time." To where if you talk to him, he's gonna talk back to you. That was a pretty funny scene, and he's just listening to him driving the taxi, looking in his rear view window. He's like, hey, what are you guys talking about? Killing people? The fuck?" I'm not gonna lie, I got a good laugh out of that scene. And then gnarly ass kill. Can I say this? Because a gnarly kill happens with his character, where Chucky takes an umbrella, shoves it so down through to his throat, it goes to like here. Like he shoves it down his mouth, like all the way down to like his chest or like the bottom of his throat. And of course, he opens the umbrella and it pops out. Pretty gnarly kill. This season has some really gnarly kills this season, and I like that. That it makes Chucky feel more scary and serious again. And when I saw early reviews on the season about, I was like, oh, this is the darkest Chucky's been in a while, and it is. Like his kills are awesome. And there's also a fake out scene with Chucky killing Andy, and he's just stabbing him over and over, stabbing in the face, and he starts stabbing his face. I did think that was a pretty cool scene, even though it was a fake out and Andy doesn't really die. No, don't worry, Andy doesn't really die in this season. Don't worry. Not yet, anyways. They might kill him off, but in this episode, they try to trick you out. I was like, oh, he's actually dead. We killed him, and then it's just like, oh, Chucky was just dreaming, which was a really cliche thing to do. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It was a really good episode. I preferred it over the second episode. Might be my favorite episode of the season so far. I really enjoyed it. It felt like a darker Chucky again. It started to explore more of Chucky more, or what his plan is throughout the season, or what we are expecting the last episode of Chucky season 3 part 1. And I really wish this was the first episode. If this was the first episode of Chucky, I would have been fully on board for this season. But sadly, it wasn't. There was like, oh, we're gonna do these two episodes, and then oh, we're gonna make this the middle chapter when it should have been the first. Oh yeah, we also got to see Nika again in here, and I thought she was all right. I didn't like what they've been doing with her after during season 2. I didn't like what they were doing with her. She wasn't very good. But in this season, so far, I think she's all right. She's doing all right to where she's getting over the events of season 2. She's like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you, Tiffany. I'm gonna roll my wheelchair on your grave after they kill you," and all that. I don't know. I feel they made her a little bit over crazy this episode. I really hope they dial it down a little bit. But overall, really good episode. Really enjoyed it. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please like this video. If you loved it, subscribe with bell notifications so you will get notified for my latest videos. And I probably will have a playlist of all of the Chucky reviews and all my Chucky reviews that I've done in the past, or I'll have my Chucky episode 2 review of this season. Thank you all so much for watching, and of course, until my next video, I'll see you all next time.